So I came on here today to try to encourage everybody, because now is not the time to be accusatory to each other. Now is not the time to divide. Now is the time to unify and keep the information going. And now is the time to get out there in mass numbers and protest, because what's going on with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not right. He was trying to free people from terrorists in Nigeria, the Southeast Biafrans. He's trying to protect his people from terrorists because the Nigerian government is not protecting people from terrorists. The Nigerian government is sponsoring terrorists. It comes from their own mouth. I have many, 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 many evidences and references to this. The international community needs to do something. And by the way, I want to give kudos to all of the Biafran people in the UK. They've been at number 10 Downing Street every day since this has happened. I'm kind of ashamed because in the US, we don't have any protests going that I know of. I would like to know ahead of time so that I can possibly make it there. So I want to talk about everything that's going on, and I want to start with a little breaking news that happened in Abia State on the 3rd, on Saturday. So they abducted a woman and her 5 children. The police, and yes, I said abducted. They try to use the word arrested, but she didn't break any laws. So how can you be arrested if you don't break any laws? So they suspected her husband as being an indigenous person of Biafra, IPOB, which is not a group. It's a group, it's a indigenous people, indigenous to the Southwest, that the Nigerian government is going after because they are fighting for their right to be free from terrorists and the hijacked terrorist sponsoring government. They have abducted her and her 5 children, took them to the Abba South police station and moved them into another location where nobody knows. And they think us Americans aren't watching and taking note of this. So I called the Abba police station. Yes, I did. I called them and I let them know that I know. And I'm here live, unafraid to let the Nigerian government know that I know you're sending compromised military who are repentant terrorists, that you repent, and letting them take over the military so they can go after people that don't believe in what you believe in. You go after people that are lovers of freedom and democracy and Christians. You're not fighting terrorists. You're helping the terrorist Nigerian government. The evidence is out there and it came from your own mouth. But you send compromised military and police to people's houses with no evidence. Number one, they abducted this woman and her 5 children on the account that they believe her husband is IPOB and they can't get him. So they're going to abduct her and her children and no one can find them so that they can get to him. And he hasn't broken any laws either. Just because you're part of indigenous people of Biafra does not make you against the law. Yeah, maybe if you're a terrorist sponsoring government, it might, but in any democracy, which Nigeria is supposed to be a democracy, it is not against the law to fight for your right to be free from terrorists and terrorist sponsors and to be free from a government that wants to marginalize you. There's free speech in a democracy, and the Nigerian government has totally taken away free speech from people because they threaten to kill people. They actually kill people. We learned that from NSARS and before NSARS with IPOB members who protested in the streets lawfully for their freedom and was shot dead or being arrested, acid poured on them, whatever. Torture, literal torture and death by the Nigerian government uniformed people, security operatives, either the military, the police, any security network. So this being said, now the Nigerian government keeps talking about, oh, Nnamdi Kanu, he broke the law this, he broke the law that. Let's talk about how the Nigerian government has broken laws and international laws. Let's talk about how they broke those laws, shall we? And how they're breaking laws every single day of the week in the contraption called Nigeria. Let's talk about the law of just the extraordinary rendition. Okay, let's talk about that law. Let's talk about that law. Okay, international law. You get Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya. You conspire with the Kenyan government, and the Kenyan government can deny all they want about having a part in this. Because number one, how did they fly Nnamdi Kanu out of there without documents? And if he had documents, why isn't the security at the airport questioning who is with Nnamdi Kanu and putting him on a plane to fly out of there? And either way, you don't know Kenyan government who comes in and out of your borders and kidnaps people. That's kind of sad on your part, but we already know. You all are denying it, and you can deny, but we know the evidence is there that you conspired and you took a payment, a bribe of $1 billion from the Nigerian government to produce Nnamdi Kanu. So whatever happened around that, whatever conspiracy will come out. And yes, I understand all Biafrans want the answer to this, and they want to, we can't blame people right now. Right now, we need to unify and put our energy towards freeing Nnamdi Kanu. That's what we need to do, because he is innocent. He should have never had any charges against him in the first place. It's not a crime to protest for your freedom and succession away from a terrorist hijacked government. There's no crime in that. It's a democracy, or supposed to be. They call themselves democracy, but it's not a democracy there. There's so many freedoms that are taken away from people in Nigeria till it's a crying shame. And I've said this once and I'll say it again. Nigeria is a ticking time bomb, and nobody believes me. I'm calling CNN. I'm calling my government, and thank God some of them are listening. I am calling other people's governments. I am calling Nigeria myself to call out their human rights crimes. Because if my government's not going to call out the human rights crimes, I am. And they are arresting people internationally and paying bribes to people. And this needs to come out. This needs to come out. I'm telling you right now, this needs to come out. Enough is enough. Nigerian government, Catriona Lane, whoever's watching me, I know you are watching me, and I want you to pay special attention. You think you're getting away with breaking laws like you're accusing Nnamdi Kanu of doing, but you're not going to get away with it, because we are not going to back down. I am an American citizen on the side of the good fight of Nnamdi Kanu, freeing his people from a terrorist sponsoring Nigerian government that comes out of your own mouth. You want to sit here and talk about how Nnamdi Kanu is the problem of Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu is not the problem of Nigeria. You terrorists and terrorist sponsors are the problem in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And I don't care. You can call me a white girl or whatever. Why do I talk about happenings in Africa? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm a human being and I'm fighting for other people that are human beings. That's why. And guess what? I'm not going to back down. You brought the lioness out in me, and I'm not going to back down for the people of Biafra and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You need to free him right now. And believe me, we are not going to let our government rest until they intervene in this very thing. Now, that being said, extraordinary rendition. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested. He was not apprehended. He was abducted. And we call it in the international community a extraordinary rendition. So I'm going to share my screen. Sorry, I'm getting a little passionate here and a little angry, but that's okay, because guess what? I'm going to say what I need to say because I got free speech. I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to show you what this means right now. Okay, let me make it bigger so everybody can see this. Extraordinary rendition is the practice of kidnapping or capturing people and sending them to countries where they face a high risk of torture or abuse in interrogations. Did y'all hear that? The Kenyan government, they actually kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they can deny it. Even if you deny it, it happened in your country. He was kidnapped in your country by people that said that they were special forces of Kenya, special force police of Kenya. It happened in your country, and they represented you. And you did nothing, Kenyan government. You did absolutely nothing. Now, not only that, but when he was moved from Kenya to Nigeria, how come this wasn't picked up? How come this wasn't picked up? You know what? I smell a rat. I smell a rat, as we say in the US. And let me tell you, with all the corruption going on with all the leaders, including Kenya and Nigeria, I believe it. And you know what? Kenyan government, you better rectify this for real, because you are going to be known as one of the most corrupt governments in the whole international community. Because let me tell you something. You helped abduct an innocent man that's fighting for his people to be free from terrorists. Let me say that again, Kenyan government. You helped abduct an innocent man who is fighting to free his people from terrorists. So that makes you a terrorist sponsor. It is what it is. The facts are on the table. Now, sorry, you all, I need to gain my composure. I've been working behind the scenes nonstop. I'm emotional about this, and I am going to fight till I cannot fight no more. And I don't give a damn who threatens me. I don't give a damn who wants to stop me and shut me up. You're not going to, okay? Get it clear. Look in my eyes. Look at me. You will not stop me from bringing attention to our U.S. government what you are doing. Enough is enough. People are tired of being slaughtered. People are tired of dying. People are tired of being raped. People are tired of being told what to do in a democracy. People are tired of no progress, no way to get a job, no way to have clean running water, no way to have electricity, no safety from the police who are being compromised by terrorists that you repent. All of the prisons in Nigeria are full of either Christians or Biafrans or people who want to succeed from the terrorist hijacked Nigerian government. You never see a terrorist in prison. You never see a terrorist in prison. And if they are in prison, they are forgiven the crime and let out. And enough is enough. And the international community needs to step up and step out, including the US. We need to get out here and start protesting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That's what we need to do in high numbers. And everybody needs to start calling Congress. I have started, and I'm asking you to start doing it too. Wake up, stop placing blame, stop crying in a corner. Let's fight for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has I'm sorry, let me calm down. Let's fight for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who A, has already been tortured and detained for 2 years for being innocent. B, who has given everything, all of his time, money, energy, everything for the cause of freeing innocent people from terrorists. We need to do this. He is not going to get forgotten. Nigerian government, you think all of this is going to cause a chaos and make everybody fall apart, make IPOB fall apart, and all of IPOB supporters like me fall apart. But guess what? You're making us stronger. You're making us stronger to speak out. And the international community is speaking out. Believe me, I just read the news about Madu. He is Minister of Justice in Canada, and I will be calling him and talking to him as well. And believe me, I'm calling the UK too. And I let him know, both my grandparents served in World War II when Hitler had half of France and was threatening Britain to take over Britain next. And they asked the US government for help from our troops to help free them from Hitler, because they couldn't do it on their own. The poor Europeans, they don't want to step up either. So my grandparents, both of them served in World War II, and my grandfather shot Hitler planes down to help fight for the freedom of the British. Do you think I want to be an ally with the British if they're going to support terrorists and sponsor terrorists that are terrorist sponsors? No. My grandparents' fight was not in vain. They could have lost their lives fighting for people's freedoms that won't even fight for the freedom of other people. Corruption at its finest. Catriona Lang, I know you blocked me on Twitter, but let me tell you something, honey. What you're doing is a crime. What you're representing is a crime. You are sponsoring terrorists, point blank, period. You take pictures with known terrorist sponsors. I've seen it. I've got the evidence. So go ahead, honey. Go ahead and say something to our U.S. government, because I will go ahead and show them that you are taking pictures with terrorist sponsors. And I do not want to be allies with a country if they're going to sponsor terrorists and help sponsors of terrorists. And you know the Nigerian government is sponsoring terrorists. They come out in the press, you know, they say in their newspapers that all these little terrorists can be repentant, they can be forgiven, they can be this in high volume numbers. Who's watching those repentant terrorists? Who's watching them? And why are we going along with that? It's not okay. And I'm going to stand for the people of Biafra, and I'm going to stand for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even though I'm not part of IPOB, I'm an outside supporter of IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is on the right side of the fight. Let me tell you, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Free him right now. If anything happens to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the U.S. government will be made aware and you will be held in international criminal courts. I'm telling you right now, Nigerian government, I know you just laugh at me when I call you all, when they go ahead and kidnap innocent people and their innocent children, because you all have this, I don't know what happened to your all's brains. And God knows y'all don't have a heart for people. But let me tell you, we will get the last laugh because you are attacking innocent people and it will not be well with you. You think God is going to allow this? Because you are not God. You are playing God. You are killing innocent people who don't want terrorists. They don't want to be ruled by terrorists and terrorist sponsors. They want referendum. Give them referendum. Let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go. He did not break any laws. You made up laws and to try to trap him so that you can get near him to execute him. And you've already tried to execute him at his home. You should have gave him a fair trial, but you didn't. because you knew he would win the trial because you illegally put charges on him that are not true. He's an innocent person. That's why you have to secretly pay other governments to help you abduct him and bring him back to your country so you can torture him like you're doing now and hopefully get rid of him. But I'm telling you, as God is my witness, we will not be quiet. We will stand up for him. We will stand up for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We will stand up for him. I'm not an IPOB member, but I am a supporter. I am an international supporter. I support what they are doing because they are tired of being under terrorist sponsors' rule. And I don't blame them. I would do the same thing. Look, we celebrated our Independence Day yesterday. Well, other people did. Honestly, I wasn't in the spirit to celebrate Independence Day yesterday because you know what? I know not all people can be free like it's supposed to be. Everybody should be free in a democracy. It's for the people, by the people. And Nigerian government, you want to sit here and hold Nnamdi Kanu accountable for breaking your laws, your made up laws, because you're terrorist sponsors? What about the laws that you're breaking, Nigerian government? What about the laws that you're breaking? You think you can just go run amok and do whatever you want just because the Nigerian people go along with it and you can put fear in their minds? It's going to catch up to you one day. Trust me. Because you're going to face an international court. You're going to face the charges of human rights violations. You are going to face it because nothing that's done evil doesn't come to the light. Just so you know. So I'm coming on here. I'm still spending all my free time praying for the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's on the right side of the fight. He doesn't want to be part of a terrorist sponsoring government that goes and slaughters people and puts people in the military and police that are repentant terrorists that have already slaughtered people. But yet you want to hold innocent people, lock them up and throw away the key. So they spend the rest of their lives in prison. It sounds like a jihad to me, Nigerian government. That's what it sounds like to me. How about I call it out like it is? And how about I show the evidence from your own mouth? How about that? You sponsor Gumi. Gumi can go out into the so-called forest where Boko Haram members are, and Fulani terrorists, and he takes piles of cash. And they've been abducting school kids and terrorizing people and killing and slaughtering people and running into the bush. And guess what? You let Gumi do. Here, Gumi, go to the bush where these terrorists are, give them a pile of cash and get the kids back. Does that make any sense? Why aren't you sending your little soldiers in Abakari over there to get the terrorists? Why don't you do that, Nigerian government? I know why. Because you're sponsoring them. You repent them. But in the meantime, innocent people who protest like Oduduwas or Biafrans or anybody in the NSARS protest because the police brutality happened because you put repentant Boko Haram and repentant Fulani herdsmen in police as cover to go and slaughter more people. Guess what you do? You just go and you let them run amok. And it comes from your own mouth. Your own military generals say that they can become president one day. They can be repentant. The Boko Haram and the Fulani terrorists can go and slaughter whoever they want to. And when they go to prison, guess what they get? They get to go to school in a foreign country. They get 3 square meals a day in a nice little prison with a nice little prison outfit. And their families get to come see them. And guess what? They get released into the military and police. But people trying to defend themselves from Fulani terrorists because they can't go to their farms to work, they can't go to their businesses without being attacked by military or police or stopped at a checkpoint to give their last dollar to the military or compromised police. But guess what? You're arresting and shooting dead and hiding bodies and torturing innocent people. That's what you do, that are protesting for freedom from the terrorists. The Nigerian people, the Biafran people, the Oduduwa people have already said they don't want terrorists. But guess what, Nigerian government? You insist on helping the terrorists, and you insist on arresting innocent people in their homes. And you're sending military grade weapons, tanks, jets, everything to attack innocent people in their homes. Unprovoked. They didn't do anything. They're not even protesting anymore, and they're starting to be attacked. Before, they would just attack the protesters. Now they're going house to house to house, attacking people in their houses. All in the name of, oh, they're an IPOB member. IPOB is not a group. IPOB are indigenous people of Biafra defending themselves from terrorists that were put in the Nigerian military and police by the Nigerian government. The evidence is out there. If anybody wants evidence, come hit me up. Go ahead, leave me a message in Messenger. I'll give you all the evidence you want. Government leaders, if you're listening to me in the US, Canada, Europe, y'all need to do something. You all need to step it up. You need to step it up, because we're going to keep pressure on you to step it up, because this is wrong. This is more of a genocide than any genocide in the world, and you are silent. No, that's not how America is. We are not silent in the face of genocide. We are not silent. You all need to step it up. And shame on you, Nigerian press. The Nigerian government is paying you money to put false allegations on innocent people and to speak out against innocent people. And they're threatening you, your lives, if you don't report what they want you to report. And they're paying you, they're bribing you with money to say bad things against the indigenous people of Biafra and Nnamdi Kanu. And right now, as we speak, Nnamdi Kanu is in a detention cell with DSS. And everybody in Nigeria knows who DSS is, including me as an American citizen. They ain't going to treat you nice. They're going to torture you. They're going to do whatever to break you. Let me tell the Nigerian government, let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go. We're not going to relent. We are going to stay unified. You're not going to cause confusion in IPOB or the outside supporters of IPOB. We are going to stay unified, and we are going to fight against this false imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He didn't do anything wrong back in when you arrested him the first time. And you want to sit here and pay people to come to court and lie about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That's all you're good for. Let's cover everything up. Let's pay everybody. Who's telling you to do that? Catriona Lang? You terrorists and terrorist sponsors. You want to sit there and pay everybody. You want to pay people to give up their own people for slaughter. You want to pay other African countries and bribe them. It's kind of sad how these people, all these human lives lost, and they'll take a bunch of money for human lives. And I hate to tell them, you're just as guilty as the oppressor and the killers. You take a bribe for somebody else's life. And I'm just going to, look, I'm putting it out there like it is. I don't care who's watching. I don't care what you got to say to me. I don't care. Let Nnamdi Kanu go now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Now, let me calm down. I'm going to calm down right now, because let me tell you, I'm very fired up. And let me tell you something right now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Catriona Lang, I'm telling you, you better tell the Nigerian government to free Nnamdi Kanu now, because I'm putting your name out there in our government, because you have been compromised. You have been compromised and paid. You have been compromised and paid, Catriona Lang, because why are you taking pictures with sponsors, known sponsors of terrorists? Why? Why are you making the enemy look like the good guy and the good guys look like the bad guys, Catriona Lang? Why? Do you have a special interest in Nigeria? I want to know, Catriona Lang. You can block me all you want on Twitter, but the truth is out there. The truth is out there for everybody to see. You need to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You need to free him right now. And let me tell you, just because I'm on this platform by myself, don't think for one iota there ain't other Americans fighting for Nnamdi Kanu's release. Don't think that there's not any other American citizen fighting for Nnamdi Kanu's release, because they are. Just because they don't come on live like me, don't mean that they're not. And we will keep the fight up, because this is wrong. Enough is enough. People are dying. People are tired. Enough is enough. Now, I'm going to go for now because I got other things to do. But let me tell you, I'm going to be working hard behind the scenes. And I'm a Christian woman, and I'm going to continue to pray as well as working. Notice I said I work as well as praying. That means God will touch my hands to do the right thing to help. So I love you all. Yes, we all have questions. We all want answers as to why this happened. But right now, I need you all to stay unified. And yes, it's okay to cry, because we are feeling in our hearts for MNK, because we know he's going through a great deal. But we need to get stronger and stay strong and stay unified. Let's not place blame on other people when we don't know. And I'm not talking about the Kenyan government, because we already know the Kenyan government is responsible for this. I'm talking about we don't blame each other right now. What we need to do right now is unify for MNK and fight for his release. If that means protesting, let's go start that protest up. If that means calling Congress every day and Senate, let's start that up. Anything, it doesn't matter if you think it's going to work or not. It's worth a try. We have to try. And guess what? We're not going to relent. We're not going to relent, okay? We're not going to relent. We are not going to relent. We are going to free the indigenous leader of Biafrans. We are going to free him. He was not born in the contraption zoo. He was born in Biafra land that was there 5,000 years before Nigeria was even a country. That's what we are going to do. We are going to fight on the right side of the fight, the good side of the fight. And that's to save lives and to free people from terrorists. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to turn on each other, because that's what the Nigerian government wants. They want to create chaos and confusion, so you all turn on each other and separate and break down. We're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to fight another day. And if you cry, I want you to don't stay there crying. I want you to stand back up and fight another day, and fight harder and fight stronger. MNK does not deserve this, and we know this, and we are going to try everything we possibly can to help him. So I just want to let everybody know, sorry, I'm spitting right now while I'm talking. I just want everybody to know we have to fight another day. We have to fight another day, okay? Don't lay down and die. We have to fight another day, okay? So I'm going to continue to call other governments. I'm going to call the UK. I'm going to call Canada. I'm going to call other governments in Europe. Other people are going to do that. Hopefully we can get some sort of protest going on. Come on, you all. If you don't have a job or something, we should be in Washington, D.C. already protesting against this. This is wrong. He's innocent. He is being tortured. And extraordinary rendition. That's a crime that happened in Kenya, when they picked up Nnamdi Kanu and handed him over to Nigerian. They can deny it all they want to, but the proof is out there. You know, how can you not know somebody that's leaving the country? Or do you not know who's coming in your country and kidnapping people? There's some sort of breakdown in Kenya, and Kenya don't have a lot of good news behind them either, because they're pretty corrupt too. So anyways, it's pretty sad that you have to turn over a innocent human being's life for a payment. I hope that money goes, and I hope that money is not blessed. I hope that money is cursed. I hope it's cursed. I hope everything surrounding that money and that payment falls apart. Whatever that money buys, I hope it falls apart. Anyways, I love you all. Stay strong. And I'm asking you all, please, let's stay unified. Let's stay unified, okay? It's not about color, religion, tribes. This is about freeing people from a terrorist hijacked government. That's what this is about. So please, I'm asking you, and I'm going to be praying every day and doing what God asked me to do in my spirit and touches my hands to do whatever I need to do to help in this struggle, because enough is enough. So many years have gone by and people have suffered. Millions, over 5 million have died in a genocide in the 60s. And Nigeria now is a ticking time bomb. Nobody wants to be part of a terrorist sponsoring government. Good people, if you have a conscience, you don't want to be a part of a terrorist sponsoring government. I don't care who you are. So anyways, I love you all. Please stay strong. I cannot stress that enough. Stay unified. Don't blame each other. This is not any one person's fault until we hear otherwise, okay? Obviously, we want answers. We want to know what's going on. But the person to blame here, or the people, are the terrorist sponsoring, hijacked Nigerian government and other corrupt governments, okay? So let's just focus on freeing MNK and Nigerian government. Free Nnamdi Kanu right now. And believe me, Nigerian government and Catriona Lang, when I tell you, I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for other Americans as well. We can show you better than we can tell you. We will show you that we will rally our Congress and keep pressure on our Congress until they intervene. And believe me, I am going to rally for more. I don't want to be allies with a country that sponsors terrorists. So UK, you want to continue to keep sponsoring terrorists and be known as terrorist sponsors to American citizens? Go right ahead. But guess what? Our Congress is going to know what you're doing with evidence. So go ahead and keep sponsoring those terrorists and see what us Americans are capable of doing, because we can speak to our government. We can speak to our government and put pressure on them. And enough is enough of innocent people being arrested, Nigerian government. Enough is enough. People have had it. That's why I say the Nigerian government is a ticking time bomb, because people have had it. I don't blame them. People are crying in hunger, crying in the streets for work, crying because of corruption and terrorism, crying out. And you terrorist sponsors and terrorists that are compromised in the Nigerian government and military and police, the lid has been flipped on you. That means we are aware of what you're doing. So let me tell you something. Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now. Free him now. Free him now. Bye, everybody. I'm going to keep praying and I'm going to keep working behind the scenes.